Hello fashion people, you're welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be learning how to make this strapless bustier top. As you can see, so this bustier can be worn on a straight gown or on a flare gown, depending on how you want to style it. You can as well wear it like this or add a sleeve to it. So I'm going to be showing you how to sew this. So in the last video we learned how to draft this pattern using the waist snatching method, the waist cinching method. That is why you see my waist very small on it, because in the last video I snatched my waist from 36 inches to 22 inches. So in the last video I did a well-detailed tutorial on how to draft this strapless bustier, and I used a waist cinching method. So this video is all about the detailed sewing of this top. Even if it is something you want to learn, keep watching. It's going to be very detailed and very simple. So if you are new here, you're highly welcome. Kindly subscribe and turn on the notification bell. If you have subscribed, thank you for subscribing. To all my old subscribers, thank you guys for subscribing, and please don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Let's get started. Hello fashion people, so these are my pattern from the previous video. So this pattern has a waist cinching method or a waist snatching method. So for yours, you can decide to use the waist snatching method for yours, or you can simply just draft the pattern without adding the waist snatching. So as you can see, I've gone ahead to cut all my pattern. Did you see what I have? I've added all my necessary sewing allowance, the center front. So this is the second side front. I have added all the necessary sewing allowance of 1/2 inch, and then this is the side seam for the front, and you can see I've added 1 inch on the side seam and 1/2 inch on the other side, and I've gone ahead to also cut out lining for this. Okay, so this is the back part. I have added all 1/2 inch all around it. On the center back I've added 1/2 inch. So the second side seam for the back I've added 1/2 inch all around, and this is the side seam for the front. I've added 1 inch on the side seam and 1/2 inch for joining. So these are very simple. So I will go ahead to notch the bust point, notch the under bust, notch the waistline. So by the time I'm joining this, I will know where to join exactly. So this is me. This is the first one, which is the center front. So we have the second, we have the first side seam. If you need to go and watch out the video on the pattern drafting, so you will not get confused. So this is the second, the first side seam. Did you see? So you're going to sew it like this, and then this is the side seam, the main side seam, which have our side seam sewing allowance. Did you see that? So you're going to open it, so you place it like this. Did you see? So this is how we're going to go ahead and join it. So we have 5 pieces for the front. So this is what we have for the front. Did you see that? So you can see I've gone ahead to attach an interfacing to it, both the main fabric and also the lining. So this is what I have. Did you see? So this is my lining as well. I have also attached an interfacing. You can use any interfacing of your choice to do this. So I've also attached an interfacing to the back part of the lining and also to the back part of the main fabric. So I've gone ahead to cut out a wadding. This is optional. You can decide to pad it. So I decided to pad mine. So if you want to pad yours, you can go ahead and cut out your wadding and stop it on your under bust. So this is me trying to align my pattern in the right way. So this is how it is. So this is my wadding. I also cut out wadding for the first side seam. Now did you see? I cut out wadding for the first side seam, and the last side seam I do not cut out wadding for it. So I will go ahead and sew like this. So you can see that the wadding stopped on the under bust, and on upper part, I reduced it by half an inch. It didn't get to the upper part, I reduced it by half an inch. And then we'll go over to the back part. This is the back part. The back part is 6 pieces. Did you see that? So this is me trying to align. That is why you need to label, because by the time you are done cutting your back parts, they might be very confusing for you. So that is why you need to label, and label the part that is up and label the part that is front. For me, I labeled it, and I'm using the mark lines to align them. I'm using the label to align them. So this is how you're going to go ahead and sew the back part, and you're also going to sew the lining. So this is the lining. I have gone ahead to sew the front part of the lining and the back part of the lining. So I've joined everything on the lining. So I will also show you how to do that on the main fabric. So this is what I have. Did you see how it's looking? So this is it. So this is my front part now. Did you see the curve? Did you see the effect? So I'm going to go ahead and join the back part to the front part by the side seam. Like I said, for you not to get confused, you need to label this. You can see, if you look closely on my own, you will see that I label it. You will label the way you will understand, so you will not make mistake. So I've gone ahead to join the front part to the back part now. So the next thing is to iron. So I'm going to show you how to iron. So you first trim off this excess. You don't want to have excess there, so you just trim it up, and then you iron that part open. You might need an ironing board depending on the one you have. You can form one by yourself. So you just go ahead and iron. Use your steaming iron to press this bustier down. And so as you are pressing it, you are opening the seam region, and then you are pressing it like this. So that is how you do it. So if you press your bustier very well, it's going to lay down flat, and you will like the effect on it. So when I'm done ironing, I'm going to show you the effect of ironing this bustier part, especially using a ball to do so. So you go ahead and iron the front part as well. Just see the way I'm ironing it. You iron the middle, you iron the side, you iron the down part. You just follow that curve to iron it. So see the part I ironed and the part I do not iron. There is a clear difference. I don't know if you can see that. So as you can see, I'm done ironing the two sides now. So this is what I have. Did you see that? This is what I have. So I will go ahead to close the upper part with my lining. So I'm going to go ahead and close the upper part with my lining. But before I do that, I want to attach a bias tape on it. So this is it. I'm going to go ahead and run a bias thread on it. So you follow all your seam line and you sew on it. You also sew at the middle part. It's only on the side seam that I do not sew. I do not sew the bias thread on the side seam, but I sewed on all the lines. So you go ahead and trim off any excess that you have at the down part or the upper part. So you just go ahead and trim that off. So you can see I have added my bias thread. This is actually optional. If you don't want to use a bias thread, you can go ahead and use the fabric to do so. You can as well not add anyone. It depends on what you want. The next thing you're going to do is to fold your bias into two and sew on it to form your loop for the back part. So when you are done, you are going to come to the back part like this. You are going to mark your lines for your loop. So on the top part here, I will advise you to mark ½ inch for your for joining sewing the lining and the main fabric together, the ½ inch up, and then you start marking 1 inch for your loop, depending on how you want it. If you don't want to have much loop, you can use 1.5. If not, just mark 1 inch. For me, I am marking 1 inch. I am marking 1 inch for it, so I'm giving 1 inch space. and I'm also going to leave like ½ inch on the down part for for the sewing allowance. As you can see, I'm done marking. So on my bias I am going to mark the way I want the loop to be. So what I'm actually marking is 1 inch, 2 inches. So I marked 1 inch and I'm marking 2 inches. I'm giving the space. You mark 1 inch like this, and then you mark 2 inches. I'm going to show you how to use it on the back part. So you mark 1 inch and then mark 2 inches, mark 1 inch and then mark 2 inches. The 2 inches is going to be the loop opening. If you don't want to use 2 inches, you can go ahead and use 1.5. So you mark your 1 inch, mark your 2 inches, 1 inch, 2 inches, 1 inch, 2 inches. This is how you place it. Let me bring the camera close so you see it. But before then, I'm going to mark ½ an inch. Did you see? Just follow what I'm doing. So this ½ an inch is going to help me so that by the time I'm placing my loop, I will know, I will have the exact thing on all of them. Instead of having one loop to be bigger, I will have it the same. So let me bring the camera close. So I brought the camera close for you to see. So did you see? You place your 1 inch on the first line and then the 2 inches, did you see? And then you fold it like this in such a way that, let me just pin it down so you will not get confused. So this is your 2 inches, right? The 1 inch, you fold it in such a way that it will be touching the 2 inches. Did you see? Did you see that? You are going to go ahead and also pin this down. So this is very simple. Just follow what I'm doing. Did you see? I formed the first loop. The second loop will be the 2 inches. Did you see? You fold in the 2 inches like this to touch the next line, and then you fold your 1 inch like this to touch the 2 inches loop. Did you see what I'm doing? That's very, very easy and simple. So let me just repeat it again. Did you see? You fold in the 2 inches and then fold back the 1 inch to touch the 2 inches. So that is how you keep on doing it. The essence of marking that 2 inches and 1 inch is so that everything will be equal. So as you can see, I have gone ahead to do that, and then I've run a thread of ½ inch on it. So I'm going to pin the lining. I'm going to pin the lining and the main fabric together because I need to sew the upper part. I need to close up the upper part. So as you can see, I've gone ahead to sew the upper part by ½ an inch. So did you see what I have? Did you see? So the next thing is to cut out some of the, just to reduce the sewing allowance. So you just cut it out, then notch it, and then go ahead and top stitch. So this is me cutting it out. So the next thing is to top stitch. After notching it, you are going to go ahead to top stitch. So this is how you are going to open it up to top stitch towards the lining side. So you can see I have top stitch towards the lining side. So by the time you bring it out, this is what you are going to have. Did you see what I have? So the next thing I'm going to do is to add in my boning. So for the boning now, did you see how the curve is? You are going to place it like this, like place the curve at the opposite direction like this for the back part and for the back part, right? But on the front part, you are going to place it on, you're going to follow the curve like this and place it on the front part because it's a bustier. So you're going to follow the curve like that and place it on that 3 lines at the front. But at the other side, you are going to place it on the opposite direction. So you're going to place the curve on the opposite direction at the other side. But at the front part, the 3 lines at the front part, that is the line on the center front, and the other 2 lines, you're going to place it following the curve. Because it's a bustier, so you need your bust to push out. Did you see? So that is how you place it. But on the other side, you are going to turn it the other way around. So this is how you place it. You are going to first of all file the mouth. Did you see? You file your mouth and then file the mouth of the boning and then place it like this. The reason why we are following the curve to place it is because it's a bustier. If you place it the opposite way around, the opposite, you will not like the effect. So but for the other side, we are going to be placing the curve on the opposite direction, and the reason is that when you place the curve on the opposite direction, it helps to to snatch your waist very well, help to hold your waist very well, but then your body is going to push out the curve. So by the time you are done putting in your boning, you are going to bring it out and cut off like 0.5 inches out from it, so that you have your your sewing allowance at the down part. So you're going to go ahead and fix your boning following the direction that I told you. This part, the 3 line at the front part will follow the curve, while the other side we're going to turn it on the opposite side. So you're going to file it. Is either you file it or you use a candle or you use a lighter to blend in the mouth of the boning so it will not poke you. So that's just the reason why we are doing so. So just follow me as I add my bonings. So this is the effect I have. So on the upper part here, because I follow the curve, you can see how the bust region is coming out. Did you see? But at the other side, because I place it opposite the curve, did you see the effect it has? So the next thing you're going to do is to go ahead and sew this part. Did you see? To secure that part, make sure not to make sure that your loop are well arranged to avoid you sewing on your loop. So you're also going to go ahead and sew this part. So when I'm done sewing, this is what I have. I'll go ahead and trim off those excesses that I have there. So I've gone ahead to open it up and can see this is what I have. So I'll go ahead and iron it and then sew a line close to the loop. So the line is going to serve like a boning channel for us to give a structure to that loop there. So I've gone ahead to iron this. So this is what I have so far. So after ironing now, I'll go ahead and sew a line here and also this part. So I'm going ahead to sew that line, and I'm going to go ahead and attach my boning. The boning there is going to help your loop not to to stand firm. So when you are done fixing the loop, so this is what you are going to have. I'm going to go ahead and turn it to the wrong side. Did you see? So that will complete the sewing of this part. So you're going to just smash the down part together. You're going to leave that part, that your side seam part. We are going to finish it up later. Just leave it and then just smash up the side seam of the lining to the side seam of the fabric, just like you see me doing now. So we left 1 inch here and also here. You're going to see how I'm going to finish up that side. Just follow what I'm doing. Place the lining to the main fabric. Did you see like this? Place the lining to the main fabric like this. Did you see that? And then you go ahead and sew that down part. When I'm done sewing, this is what I have. I'm going to go ahead and notch that part, the down part, so that it can relax well for us. So you can also cut out excesses, but make sure not to cut through your lines. So the next thing is to open up our zipper, open up our lining to turn this to the front side. We closed every part, so we need to turn to the front side. You're going to be opening from the lining. So that is what I'm doing. I'm opening one of the lining seam so that we can turn this to the right side. So when you're done opening, you go ahead to turn it to the right side. So this is what I have for this 1 inch space now that I left here that I do not sew. I am going to just I'm going to just fold it in and then go ahead and sew. So because of that boning we attached, did you see? So that was why we left 1 inch at the down part here. So you're going to fold it in like this. Just cut out any excess that you have there, then fold it in like this, and then go ahead and sew. So did you see? You fold it in like this, did you see? And then sew that part. And for this part now, you can go ahead and use your hand needle to tack it, or you can as well use a machine to sew it. But me, I'm going to use my hand needle to tack that part to cover that seam. We're going to use your hand needle to do so. And did you see? So you're also going to close the down part of the other side. So this is what we have so far. So did you see now? So after closing every part, it is what I have. So I have gone ahead to close that down part that we left open, and the lining part I've gone ahead to use my hand needle to tack that. So this is what we have so far. So thank you guys for watching. So you can do this with a normal bustier, or you can just use your waist cinching method to do this. So thank you for watching, and please don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. See you in my next video. Bye.